open doors when there's no key. My guiding light when I can't see. Nothing is impossible because of you.
Evening,
Hello,
good evening.
hello.
Welcome. Guess what? It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
And we are back
We are
on
back.
the couch. Listen, it's been a minute. It feels like anybody.
Yes.
But that vacation, our
vacation was lovely.
Listen, amazing. Shout out to the wonderful couples that we were with. That was
Veronica, Sam,
amazing. Griff, Lanika, Mike, and Mom Deb. Listen,
thanks for joining us on that vacation.
Ball.
We had a ball. We got to do it again.
Let me tell you, I hope that you had the chance to view the show. I know that the first week we aired it, the week of May 27th, we had some technical difficulties. We re-aired it again the next week, the first week in June. So I hope you had a chance to catch the re-air. If not, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search up Couch Conversations, look for that logo, and you'll know you're in the right place. You'll be able to catch any episodes that you may have previously missed. But I do believe that was one of our best episodes. And it was the first time that we had radio guests. We had guests on this show. And there was an amazing opportunity to be with some amazing people. And the entire experience was just amazing. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me say amazing, but that's the only adjective I have to describe the amazing time that we had amazingly with some amazing people. So I said all that to say that any couples who haven't had a vacation in a while,
take one.
And now's the opportunity. Yes. Take you some time as a couple and get away. And don't be afraid to get away with other couples. I think there should be more couples retreats and couples trips and things of that nature. I know after Tyler Perry put them 2 movies out, a lot of couples like, I ain't going nowhere with y'all. But
you gotta get away with the right couples, though.
Amen. Say that again for the people in the back.
Couples.
The right couples. I'm telling you, the right people make all the difference in the world.
It
we
does.
We absolutely the right people. So again, shout out to Deacon Sam, Veronica, Griff, Lanika.
Hey guys,
Mike and Mom Deb. We so want to thank you all for spending that week with us. We can honestly say that our 20th anniversary was that much sweeter and better because you all were with us. So thank you so very much. It was amazing.
Enjoyed it.
Listen, if you're married, find you some couples that you can be real with, some couples that you can be raw with. You need couples in your life where you as a couple can be you and there's no judgment. There's nobody looking at you crazy. You don't have to put on any wares. You can be authentically who you are and everything will be fine. So make sure you do that. Get you some couples in your life surrounding your marriage that will help you to just relax and do you, be you.
We dance, we love,
Wait a minute,
we laugh.
Ain't none of their business.
We laugh.
We did laugh. We had a good time. We had a great time. It was amazing. And so we make sure you have a chance to do that. We encourage that. All right. We do want to also take a second and acknowledge that last week we did have to cancel the show. You may have seen our clip that we posted a quick video. Our second born daughter graduated from high school. And so we celebrated her. We're so proud of her and all that she's accomplished. So we'll be looking on the horizon for the things that are coming up next in her life. And so we wanted to take time as a family to celebrate her and to celebrate her accomplishments. Because in this day and age, not everybody graduating high school.
That's right.
Let alone graduating on time.
Yeah.
Let alone graduate with good grades.
So we had to celebrate with her last week.
We definitely had to do that.
So thank you for welcoming us back and being here with us tonight.
And we are back.
We're back.
We missed y'all.
It
and
felt
I don't know if
forever.
y'all missed us. It does. We were talking about that before the show. It doesn't feel like it's only been really, we've only been off for 1 week.
Yeah.
But it doesn't does it feel like? We're here today, and we're glad about it. Quick few things before we dive into tonight's topic. We certainly want to thank our producer, our firstborn daughter. She's been trekking with us, rocking with us since we started the show, and she's only home from college, so we're going to use her while we can. But we just want to take a second and thank her for her dedication to making sure that we are here, making sure that the sound is good, the video is good, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh,
Certainly need help in doing these kinds of
I
things.
was like, while we were on vacation and we did the show down in Florida,
Yes,
we had a
yes.
wonderful church
We had
that
a
hosted
team
us, a
down
team
there.
that helped us down there,
Yes, we did,
and
they
we
really,
appreciate
yes, we do.
them.
Absolutely. So shout out to the team from Florida who took care of us while we were down there. We're certainly grateful for all of their hard work and everything that came through that. The church that hosted us and the pastor there, they wanted to remain a little bit of anonymous. And so that's why you didn't see any markings there. But you may have noticed that the camera work was a little different. The background and the scenery was a little different on that show. If you've seen the show, if you haven't seen the show, forget everything I said. Don't worry about it. But it was a good time, and we're certainly grateful for the team that supported us while we were there, allowing us to come into their space. And so we just want to again thank them for that. Listen, these things take a team. It takes people. It takes bodies. It takes resources. And so we will be in the near future ready to receive sponsorship. So if you have an organization or a business that would love to sponsor an episode, be looking out for that information. You can always reach out to us and let us know that when the time comes, you'll be interested in sponsoring the show with your organization or business. So just reach out to us on any of our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. And you can also send us messages on YouTube and let us know that you would like to get information on sponsoring the show. We'd love to have that information. Of course, we thank our wonderful partners at Awesome God Radio Network, Antoine Jefferson, and everything that's going on in that particular realm. They are doing some big things. AGR is really blowing up and coming back from the pandemic stronger than ever. We have some wonderful partners there, several other wonderful shows. You can fill your entire week with shows, awesome quality shows every day. Some days have a couple of shows, everything from talk shows to how-to shows. There's a couple of shows where you can just get great praise and worship. Of course, one of our favorites, She Heals Radio with Whitney Hogan. She's on hiatus right now, but she'll be back strong in a couple of months. And so when she does, be on the lookout for that. But Awesome God Radio, AGR, you see the logo there right above my lovely wife's head. And if you check that out, then you'll know that's where you can catch our show. You can catch several other wonderful shows. There are a fabulous partnership that we have with them. They're supporting us in our endeavors, and we're grateful for it. So shout out to all of the magnificent shows. I try to get a different adjective in there. Magnificent shows and show radio personalities on the Awesome God Radio Network. We are so grateful to be a part of that family. All right. Did I miss anything? Did I see anything? Let's see. I'm thinking. Be a very exciting time that we're going to have. And so we want to make sure that you are with us, trekking with us, because in the first week of August there, that Thursday, we're going to be having our show. Now, we're live every Thursday, but we're going to be doing that show a little bit differently. We're going to be taking your questions on the air. You'll be able to type in a question in the chat box and we'll respond to it right there on the show. And so
a Q&A.
Ask us a question. Give us a Q. We'll give you an A. I don't like that. it sounded better in my head. Anyway, a Q&A. Ask us some questions and we'll do our very level best to give you some answers.
Best to give you an answer.
So mark your calendars for the first Thursday. I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. The first Thursday in August, we're going to have a Q&A, live Q&A. But here's the catch. Here's the caveat. you must be following us on the Happy Spouse, Happy House Facebook page, because that will be the place where we will receive your questions. We're going to talk through them on the air, and we'll post the question on the air so that the others can read your question. But then we'll talk it through. But those questions will only be able to be received through the Happy Spouse, Happy House Facebook page. So make sure you are following us there. You've liked it, and you get the notifications every time we go live. We do broadcast our show on that page as well each week, as well as you can go back and see the shows that have previously aired on that channel. And so make sure that you are following us there, so that night when you come to watch the show, you go to the Facebook page. That way, if you have a question, you can share it right there. Now, we are live on Twitter, we are live on YouTube, and we're live on my Facebook page, your Facebook page, and the Happy Spouse Facebook page. However, the Happy Spouse Facebook page is the only page where you'll be able to post your questions and have them read on the air if time will allow. So make sure that you are subscribed to that page, following that page, you've liked that page, and that you get all the notifications when that page goes live.
That was a lot of information.
That was a lot of information. And we'll be giving you that each week. But the long and short of it is, make sure you're following us on all social media. That way you'll be getting the information as we put it out. We'll put out flyers, we'll put out snippets. We'll share this information across the board. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, so that you can stay up to date with everything that's coming from the couch. All right. Let's jump into tonight's topic. Tonight, we wanted to talk about a little concept. Now, I want to preface this a little bit. The title of tonight's show, or the concept, or the topic for tonight, who I was versus who I am. If you know, we've been married for 20 years now, and one of the couples on the trip was married for 25 years, and another couple was only married for 15 years. But then Griffin and Nika have only been married for, I guess they were to 7 months now, a few months, 8 months, something like that.
5 months.
Well, it was 4 months in May. So June is 5, right?
Yeah, 5
okay,
months.
so they're up to 5 months now. That was at the second trimester.
The trimester.
Listen, he had us cracking up. But the longer you're married to somebody,
the guilt-free 5 months.
The guilt-free 5 months. Praise the Lord. The longer you're married to somebody, the more you should realize that they are not the same person you married all those years ago. And so 20 years later, we're not the same people that we were, when we said, I do.
Right.
And so it's important that we know, first of all, we will be different down the road. But it's interesting. A lot of couples struggle because they look one day and they realize, wait a minute, you're not the same person I married.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on whether or not the moment they recognize that is a good moment or a bad moment.
Right.
And it's a challenge. Now, if you've been with us on the show, that in the month of May, we talked about marriage vows.
The marriage vows.
And we did an entire series on marriage vows.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun. And when we did the show in Florida, the topic was, do your vows expire? Now, we talked about that, but what we were also looking at was how we're not the same as we used to be, how we're not who we once were. And so while we were on the show, the part of it was a statement was made by one of our guests on the show, and we were talking about, them having 25 years in. Are they the same as they once were? How things have changed? And so the response that Veronica gave was very fascinating. That's really what prompted tonight's topic. So we're going to play the clip for you in just a moment so that you can hear what she had to say. But I just want to give you a little bit of a background, what we're talking about, the idea that all of these years later, however many years you have in the relationship, you're not the same
Mm-hmm.
that you were then. I mean, what did you think about when you think, okay, we've been married 20 years? Can you remember who you were 20 years ago?
Yes. I believe I was selfish in our beginning years of marriage. I guess because I didn't know about marriage. Like I didn't have an example growing up.
Sure.
So I didn't know who I was supposed to be in the marriage.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit selfish in the beginning of our marriage, just thinking about me.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that did cause a little rift in the beginning years of our marriage.
Sure.
And like we said, debates.
Yeah.
Heated
Yeah.
debates.
Right.
Passionate debates.
Passionate.
But now looking back, and we ask that question. Well, I know you ask that question sometimes. If you could talk to the person you were
Mhm.
back then, what would you say
Mhm.
to that person when you first got married?
Yeah.
And I would just say, stop thinking about yourself. It's not about you.
Right.
It's about the person that you married. And
Yeah.
that's the truth, because I didn't marry myself.
Right.
So I shouldn't have been thinking about myself,
Right.
because if I married myself, then I wouldn't need you. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be in the picture.
Right.
So just
Yeah.
stop thinking about yourself. It's not about you. It's about your spouse.
Spouse. Yeah. No, that's good. How did you just said it, and it was so profound, and I can't remember exactly how you said it.
I didn't marry myself.
Right. If I married myself, then you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
I would be by myself.
Right.
I would have to be selfish
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if I married myself.
Right. The very definition.
Yeah, the
of
very
that.
definition
Yeah.
is you
It's
thinking
all
about
you.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's so true. I mean, we may marry someone because I like, who you make me feel, or how you see me, or,
mhm,
I like the way I feel when I'm with you, or I like the way that you see, those kinds of things. But the reality is we should not be marrying someone because we want everything to be about us.
right.
We should be getting married. We should have gotten married because, at least for me, the way I always put it, I wanted to spend the rest of my life being the man that you deserved. I want to spend the rest of my life giving you the world that you wanted and deserved. And if I spend any amount of my time focused on me and not you,
Mhm,
then I tell people all the time I'm cheating.
yeah.
Because if you're giving me 100% of you, and I'm giving you 95% of me, and the other 5% I'm giving to myself,
Right.
now I'm getting 105% about me, because you're giving 100% and I'm giving 5% both to me.
Right. You confusing me, all that math. Come on. 5, 100%, 95.
The point is, if more attention is being paid to me, then I'm cheating on you.
Right.
That's the long and short of it. Whenever we spend more time and more energy on one spouse, and it's not the other spouse. If I spend
Right.
all of my time thinking about me, and you spend all your time thinking about me, well, who's thinking about you?
Right. And I think getting into marriage, like, I mean, you date and then you decided you want to get married, and then
Mhm.
you're in it. And then it's like, oh, we are really in it. Like
Yeah.
once you do it. And in the beginning, and I'm gonna be transparent,
Okay.
because we talking about marriage and we communicating, and but you already know this. Not a lot of people know our background and our when we first started off dating and all of that. But my goal for marriage was, and you always think about this as a child, the White House, the picket fence, the little
Mhm.
dog, the how many kids you wanted, and it's gonna be a happy marriage, and
Right.
it's gonna be flowers and butterflies, and then you get into your first argument. It's like, whoa, like
that wasn't on the list.
That wasn't on my list.
That-
Like
right.
when I made my list of things about a marriage, but I wanted to get out of my mama's house when I
Yeah.
got married,
Yeah.
and that was the wrong way to think about marriage.
Right.
But it was a love for you why I wanted to leave so quickly, because I did love you. I'm not gonna say I didn't love you, but I did
I'm
love
so
you.
glad.
No, right, yeah. But I mean, I'm being transparent. I'm trying to
Right.
be transparent.
Yeah.
And when you think about marriage the wrong way,
Sure.
that's why you have those struggles in your marriage that way, because it's like I didn't have the right frame of mind when I got married. Like Veronica and Sam was saying, when they got married, they were too young. But
Right.
back then, they did it because
Right.
everybody told them
They
they
couldn't.
were, they
Right.
couldn't. So they was gonna prove them wrong,
Right.
and they struggled.
Hmm.
But a lot of people struggle in their like.
Sure.
It's not a perfect marriage out there. Just like it's no perfect people out there.
Right.
So just have the right intention. You should have the right intentions.
Yeah. Because you married now.
Cause you in it now.
Right. You in it now.
But that was my thought.
Yeah.
But loving you and seeing how you love me grew into this person that I am now.
Yeah.
Continue to love this person
Yeah.
that loves me.
One of the things that I've always loved about you is your constant growth and evolution.
I had to grow a lot.
I think we both have. Well, I know
remember,
I
I was 19
No, when we met. Right. Yeah.
Then we got married when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were 24, 25.
Yeah. Good time.
So I mean, it's not a big gap, but
4 years is, well, I see it depends on the season of life you're in.
that's
When
true.
that 4 years, we talk about this with the kids all the time. It
Yeah.
drives them crazy. In 93, I graduated high school and you were doing what?
93, I was in elementary
Uh-huh.
school. So
No.
you've been huh?
You were in middle school.
Wait, hold on, wait. No, because
93.
yes.
you were
I'm
in middle
sorry.
school.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's too far back. Yes. 93, I was in middle school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our kids get grossed out by that every time. It's hilarious. In 94, I'm a freshman in college and you were a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
95, 96. When you graduated high school in 97, I had already been.
You probably had your own house and everything, weren't?
Yeah, because in 97, I
Yeah.
was living in DC, had my own place.
That's so
No-
weird to look at. Like when
Yeah.
you're okay. If I was in 4th grade, you were in what?
7th.
7th going to 8th.
No, 8th going to 9th.
So 4th grade versus 9th.
Elementary school versus
Elementary school
middle
versus middle school.
Yeah.
If we look at it that way, that's so weird. But when you become an adult, age, everybody
doesn't
say
matter.
age doesn't matter.
Because at 21
Because
and
at 21,
25,
like you're an
we were
adult.
both in culinary
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still young minded.
sitting in there swinging your feet in the chair in the classroom. Hilarious.
But to see the person that you are today, to see the person that you are today,
Yeah.
it's encouraging to know that we're going to spend the rest of our life and continue to see
Yeah.
grow each other.
Yeah.
And not shy away from
Yeah.
the fact that we were those people back then,
Right.
but look at us now.
Yeah. If you can look back and laugh at who you used to be,
if you can laugh.
it's because of who you are now.
Yes.
Some people, they don't change, they don't grow, they don't mature. And that's a problem.
And I'm sorry to cut you off.
You didn't.
And it was like a wow statement that Lanika said when we were there. She said, I just lost it because I said I'd cut you off, but keep going.
Outstanding.
I remember it.
She did have some profound thoughts and sharings in her quiet self. She was so quiet.
Oh, when she said she prayed, when they get into like we were talking about the debate, like discussion and stuff, and when she said that she not only prayed,
right,
she's not praying for
him.
She's
praying for
she's
herself.
praying for herself
To
to respond the right way. I said that was so wonderful to not even think about.
Yeah. In the moment
of
a heated debate
discussion
where I'm mad at you.
Yes.
But instead of me praying, God, get him,
Get him.
God,
She said,
fix
God,
me."
please help me
Wow. Yeah, I remember
not
that.
respond
I remember
in
that.
a way. Like I said, I thought that was so beautiful.
That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge. Yeah, absolutely. When you have the presence of mind to say, okay, God, I'm mad and I'm angry and I want to beat him up. But instead of me asking you to get him, I'm asking you to fix me.
Fix me
so
first.
I can
So
respond
I can
right.
respond
Yeah,
right. Just
I
like
mean,
the Bishop Davis. You said the Bishop Davis and Pastor Robbie always tell you like there's always
something that
you can apologize
right
for.
in every conflict.
Yes,
Right.
in
Both
every
sides can
conflict,
find
both
something. Yeah.
yes.
That's something that piece of advice is something that I've always tried to apply to our relationship over the years. Whether or not I may have been right didn't matter so much as me making sure that you were comfortable in acknowledging if you were wrong.
Mhm.
And I think that's where a lot of couples really struggle, because there's this innate desire in us as human beings to be right,
Mhm.
to be vindicated,
Yeah.
to be justified and validated,
Mhm.
to the point that the only way I'm validated for being right is if you're crushed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a dangerous position to
is.
be in as a couple, because if I'm crushing you so that I can be seen as the victor and right and above, well, someone said, if you always have to win every fight, you're married to a loser.
Who said that?
I
That
don't
was
remember.
recently.
I heard that.
I know that was
And
just
I'm like,
recently.
well, I think, you know what? I think somebody that Griff was listening to said that.
Oh.
Griff, if you paying attention, brother, let me know
I
who said
think
that.
we
'Cause
just heard that. That was
I
recently.
think that, yeah, I'm almost certain somebody that Griff was referencing said that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to you, brother, and get you to give me who that was, and I'll share that on our social media platforms. But it's so true. If my only goal is to come out on top in the fight, well, then that means that I'm married to somebody who doesn't know what it means to win.
Mhm.
And it's more important for me to be over you than with you.
Yeah.
And we've got to get to the place as a married couple where we win when we win,
Mhm.
and not trying to keep score who was right more times than not.
Right.
And it is important as a married couple that you take stock in who you are now versus compared to who you used to be back then. The Bible says, compare yourselves not amongst yourselves. Don't compare yourselves amongst yourselves. I shouldn't compare myself to another guy. You shouldn't compare yourself to another lady, but I should compare myself to the old version of me. Have I grown?
What was your old version of you?
Oh, Jesus. Listen,
Give some people a little background.
I was young and wow. What was I?
I thought you was about to say wild.
No.
I was like, were you?
Not wild. But I was very self-aware.
Oh.
Which wasn't a good thing.
Mhm.
I was someone who was very gosh, what's the right word? I don't even know the right word.
You can't even remember yourself back
Oh no,
then.
I remember.
Oh.
I'm just trying to say it right.
Well, come on, transparent.
I want to be honest.
And be honest.
Yeah. I knew what I was capable of, and it didn't make a difference who didn't believe in me.
Mhm.
I was going to do me and be me regardless of what other people said. And that is dangerous as a person who doesn't know who they are. I was arrogant. That's the word I'm looking for. I was very arrogant 20 years ago.
Yes, you
were. Keyword.
No, I was about to say, because when I first met you, you were.
Yeah, but that wasn't my fault. That was see, okay, y'all got to know. When we met in culinary school, we were in school. We were students learning how to be chefs.
He was so arrogant.
I had experience. And I wasn't about to let anybody make me feel bad because I knew what I knew.
Mm.
I was arrogant. I really was. Worked in Ruby Tuesdays with those guys. I came out of culinary school, got a job at Ruby Tuesdays as a line cook. And even though those guys had years of line experience at Ruby Tuesdays, I had training, formal training at an established school with a degree. So you couldn't tell me nothing.
Working at Ruby Tuesday.
Listen. Don't do
He's
that.
arrogant working at Ruby
I sure
Tuesday.
was. I sure was. You did listen. I sure was. But I've grown over the years.
Yes, you have.
To not be arrogant, confident. Yes,
Confident. I was about to say you
but
turn
not
it around. It's
arrogant.
confidence.
Yes.
Yes.
I realized very quickly there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance requires confidence, but the difference is arrogance requires confidence in a version of yourself or a vision of yourself. Rather, confidence should be in the actual self.
And doesn't it offend other people when you
It
arrogant?
can very much offend other people
When you
when you're arrogant.
Yeah, I was say
When you're arrogant.
Yeah, when you're arrogant. But
Some
when you're
people
confident,
Yeah, but now some people
some
can
people think
mistake confidence for arrogance.
yeah.
And the difference is how you portray it. When you're confident, then you can stand with your shoulder square. When you're arrogant, you stand with your chest out, and then people get offended because you're like, "Move out the way, I got this." Whereas confidence says, "I'm here if you need me," and I think that's a big difference.
Confident marriages.
Listen, confident marriages is what we need more of today, and I believe that if we're more in tune with just being here, yeah, I know how to do these things. I'm here if you need me, and go from there. I mean, both of us can cook. Both of us have the same training. And yet, I will, if I know you in the kitchen, I'll stay out of your way, not because I don't want to be near you, but because I believe in your ability. Confidence says, could I cook? Sure. But I'm going to defer to my wife and let her handle it because I know she can handle it too. And I think that's what a lot more couples need to do. Have confidence in each other.
Yeah.
When you're secure in what you can do, you're not threatened because someone else can do it also.
Well, you're not threatened because your spouse could do it. Yeah.
You shouldn't
You
be.
shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be threatened just because your spouse can do it also. You shouldn't be threatened because it might seem like they could do it better. The reality is they just do it different.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with that. All right, let's get to the clip. Again, we were talking about marriage vows expiring. And I didn't write down the question that you posed to her when she responded to it. But her response is what motivated tonight's topic. So with her consent, we have her consent to share her thoughts. So let's go to the clip.
Now, as we've matured, we go back, and like Griff and Lanika were saying, the D word is get upset. Like he gonna say something funny because I know Griff.
Nothing.
But
I'm with my wife,
I'm
being
the
quiet.
more like outspoken. Sam's more laid back, so I was always the one that would be yeah.
Bossy.
Sorry, I know my brother. But Sam would just let me just go, and he would be so quiet, and I'm like, I'm arguing with the brick wall, like, and I would just keep going because I wanted a reaction, and I wouldn't get it.
Man.
So now we have this understanding, and I was a hitter.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was abusive.
that's
Yeah,
a deal breaker
I was
there,
a hitter.
brother.
So if
Well,
I
I love you so much, Sam. Been through so many things.
Hero, right there. If you want to know what that looks like, right there. Hero.
It's funny though,
Hero.
when we talk to the girls in the mentoring program, we talk to them about domestic violence, and that's when I realized, God, I was abusive. Yeah, because I would slap in a minute. Like if I got
Wow.
upset, he said, "You got one more time to put your hand in my face," and that one time I did it.
Now, let me say this. I did not find the clip where she talked about how they are now. And so I do apologize for all. But that part of the show is what we wanted to talk about tonight. That statement, how she was reflecting on who she used to be 25 years ago when they first got married. And it really stuck out to me that, you can sit there having grown, having matured, and having evolved to a new version of yourself
Mhm.
where you can reflect on who you used to be and it not hinder who you're becoming.
Yeah, and it helps others
Absolutely.
because she was saying that she talks to her SOAR
The
charity,
SOAR girls,
the
right.
girls,
Yep.
and she could help those young ladies also, like when they're in relationships, and so
Yeah. To be able to pour into somebody else's life, just because you had a bad experience. I think too often we want to keep our bad experiences to ourselves. I don't want to tell nobody who I used to be.
yeah,
Just know who I am today.
right,
Well, the truth is, if you can acknowledge that who you are today is not who you used to be,
right.
that can help somebody else who may be
Who
a
you
version
used
of
to
who
be.
you used to
Yes,
be.
yes,
Because it gives them hope to say, hey, if they can change, I can change.
right,
Somebody else may not be as bad as you used to be, but they still have a challenge. They still
Yeah.
have a struggle. And if they know that, hey, there's hope for me, and that's what hope looks like.
yes,
We need to share those stories
Yeah.
more. But it also speaks to the value in knowing who I used to be versus who I am today, because who I am today is a better spouse for the spouse that I have
yes,
than who I used to be. 20 years ago, that man wasn't right for you, not who you are today.
right.
He wasn't right for you, who you are today. He might not have been right for you then, but you took him anyway.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah,
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm talking about you.
Oh,
That bald-headed guy that you stood across from and said I do too. He wasn't the right one, but praise the Lord, you
You
kept
don't
him
think?
anyway. Listen, 20 years ago, I was dumb. I was young, dumb, and arrogant. Didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, as the expression goes.
Yeah, like this expression goes.
But we made it work.
We did.
And we're here today. We're still together today. I tell people all the time, my wife comes home. Let's start there. You come home, and then you come home happy to be there. So
Yes,
praise the Lord.
I run home.
Listen.
Babe, where you at?
Right. Every
You're not
day,
home. I'm not going.
like clockwork. Y'all listen, shout out to Apple. They not a sponsor, but these walkie-talkies on the Apple Watch.
Yes.
Listen, where you at?
I'm
I'm
like,
on
where
the
are
way.
you?
I need to be where you are. Praise the Lord. So but that's so true. What Veronica said, who she used to be. When she recognized that, it even, she was pouring into her girls in the SOAR group. She was teaching them and talking to them about, abusive relationships. And she recognized something that I think many people don't acknowledge. The female, the wife, was the abuser.
Mhm.
You don't hear about
You
those
don't
stories
hear about that, right?
where the wife is the one who's the abuser instead of the husband.
Mhm.
You hear all the time about, oh, he beating me, oh, he beating her, oh, he's, taking advantage of her. But you rarely hear about a wife who's physically abusive to a husband. And I think it was very admirable for her to be comfortable to share that. And I watched Sam as she was talking about it. He didn't react.
Sam don't ever react. Sam's so cool.
He is. Deacon's so cool. Love that brother. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be like him when I grow up. But it's so important that we look at, who am I today? I tell people all the time, the man that they like today is because of you and all that you've poured into me, prayed over me, shaped me through for the last 20 years. I wouldn't be this version of myself if it hadn't been for the Lord and you and what he's done to me through you. You can't convince me of anything different. I know that. And I like who I am today. And it's because I'm with you. And I think we need to spend more time as couples evaluating, who am I today? Where am I today? And I am who I am, and I am where I am because of you, my spouse. So true. You just shake your head. So the question I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, who are you today? And can you pinpoint who you used to be as a result of that, and be able to look at it from the other side, really? Because, too often we look at it from one standpoint, one position. But when we shift to the other side, then we can see better, where things get plugged in, how we can reach them, and things of that nature. But it's a challenge when we only want to view things, even ourselves, from one standpoint. If I think ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm cool, I like me,
Mm-hmm.
then why don't you like me? Or I like who I am. You supposed to love me regardless. Well, we're not talking about loving you regardless. What we're talking about is you evolving from who you used to be.
Yeah.
20 years of marriage later, 25 years of marriage later, I shouldn't still be leaving my clothes in the middle of the floor after I take them off.
Right.
The things that I did when we first got married, you should not still be living with right on the end of, where we are today. If you were dealing with them, tolerating them in the beginning, we should grow.
Mm-hmm.
We should be different. We should be a different version of ourselves, a better version of ourselves. If you go back and watch that whole episode, you'll hear Sam say, 25 years later, he's not the same man that he was, when they first got married. In the beginning of their marriage, like Veronica said, she was a little violent. She was verbally aggressive, and she was someone who was looking for a certain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sam was the kind of man who was strong, silent type. He didn't have a whole lot to say. He didn't have a whole lot to bring to the table. And so 25 years later, they've grown through some things. They've gone through some things. He communicates more now. He shares better now. And she's not as aggressive as she once was. But you've got to put it in the other place, because you realize that, where I had it isn't going to work,
Mm-hmm.
because it interrupts other things. And so you've got to go to really like the other side of the situation and say, you know what, I need to put this in a better place where it's not going to affect everything else going on. I've got to put my focus in a better place, because, where I'm coming from, it really just impacts negatively what's going on and what I'm trying to do. But we've got to get to the place where we recognize that even though, we're not perfect, like you said, nobody's
Right.
perfect. I don't have to be the person that I was when we set our vows. I shouldn't try to stay that way. Be consistent in your word, be consistent in your lifestyle schedule. But, I shouldn't still be, that 20-year-old, that 25-year-old at 45. I shouldn't be the same person. I shouldn't have the same.
You're still a baby.
Right.
You shouldn't still be on baby milk.
Right. What the Bible say? When I was a child, I spoke
I
like
spoke
a child, reasoned like a
Reason
child.
like a child.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Yes.
Well, as a 20-year marriage veteran,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to keep asking you the same questions.
Right.
We should be able to engage with each other. And there are just some things I shouldn't have to ask, because I should already know what you're going to say,
Right.
what you're going to want, what you're going to think, how you're going to feel about it.
How I'm going to respond to
it. Right.
So don't say it if you know my response.
Exactly. When you're brand new in the thing, then everything is a question. What do you think about this? How do you feel about that? 20 years later, 15 years later, 10 years later, however long you've been married, there are certain questions I shouldn't need to ask, because I'm already going to know. If I'm paying attention to who you have become, then I can anticipate what you're going to do, what you're going to need, what you're going to want, and be able to take care of things without you even having to say something. We were both young
Mm.
and inexperienced, and it just wasn't the right time. for either of us. But I never went into it thinking, this will be good for a little while. You get some people who do that.
I think
I'm cool.
I think I thought like I never thought like at my 21-year-old self,
Hmm.
I never saw myself married for 20 years.
Wow.
Like I thought it was just gonna be like, nope, don't want to be here no more.
Wow.
Married to somebody else. Nope, don't want to be here no more.
Wow. Now that's new. We've never had this conversation.
We've never had because and this is what we need to talk about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Couch conversations.
That's right.
What married people should talk about.
That's right.
Just because I don't think I've experienced a marriage or have had a marriage experience in my family. Like
Mhm.
I don't know anybody who's been married longer than 10 years.
Donnie.
Well, yeah, Donnie and Renee.
Yeah.
But
I ain't want to call
are
names,
still
but
sorry.
They lasted for
I don't remember.
I thought it was
I can't remember. But
13 or
yeah, my
14.
brother. If y'all watching, I don't know how long y'all was married.
Right.
Like I was young then.
Good people though.
Good people. Still
Yeah,
love
yeah.
my sissy.
Yeah.
But I didn't see
A long.
well, I mean, I didn't see a long I didn't
Sure.
see a long
Sure.
longevity situation. I didn't see 20 plus, 30 plus,
Yeah.
40 plus. And I think that's because families don't talk about stuff, especially if it's not a good, like if a marriage ended and it wasn't a good
Yeah.
ending.
Right.
But I didn't see that. Like I'm not sure.
Mhm. Yeah. If you don't know what it looks like.
And I was just like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here,
Yeah.
if I have an argument, if I'm supposed to leave, if I'm
Yeah.
not supposed to come back, if I want to be single, if I don't want to be single, if I want to keep, I didn't think about that. I was just saying I want to be married just
Right.
because
Get
it's
out your
something to do.
mama house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was true. Shame of that.
But like thinking about it now,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about my 20-year-old self and saying I didn't
Yeah.
see the vision of me staying married for 20 years excites me now at my 40. Tomorrow I'll be 41.
Hello. I was gonna get to that, but it was
41 years.
Praise the Lord. Happy birthday.
But 20 years married.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else God has in store for us because 20 years is a while.
Yeah. 2 decades.
Yes. And to still be happy and still like you
Yeah.
and still want to be around you
Yeah.
for 20 years. It's exciting to see where God is going to have us 20 more plus years
Yeah.
down the road.
20 years, 1/5 of a century. Watch
Yeah. Math.
But it's so true. And I'm grateful that it's been you the last
Me
20
too.
years.
I think we talk about that a lot too.
We do.
Like,
do.
we're
The
always like, well, what if we don't stay together? Like, will you be single? Will you get married again?
Right.
But
thankfully, I don't think we have to have that
we
conversation.
don't have to have that.
anymore.
No.
You're not 20 years in. It's now the conversation that says we don't need to contemplate what would happen if,
Right.
because if's no longer an option.
If is not an option.
Right. You heard if you watch the episode,
It's yes.
Veronica and Sam said
do.
the same thing Griffin
I
and
do, I
Nika
do.
said. When we're arguing, the D word's not on the table.
Right.
And I went back and watched that episode. It was interesting. They never said what the D word is. They just kept saying the D word's not.
They didn't want to say it.
That's taboo. We don't discuss that. We don't say that. The word that should not be mentioned.
Right.
But when you get to, I think after 20 years, it has not been a burdensome 20 years.
No.
It hasn't been a stressful or strained 20 years. It's been, for the most part, it doesn't mean that we didn't have problems.
Right.
It doesn't mean that we didn't have challenges. It
Right.
doesn't mean that there weren't times when I think both of us considered walking away. Probably
Yeah.
not at the same time. But I know, well, you did walk away for the weekend anyway. She was like, I'm out. And then 2 days later, she was back. But praise the Lord, she came back. But there were times, I think, when I considered calling it quits. Years ago, mind you, not anytime soon, recently, but years ago. But then I remembered both the vows we made, and I also remembered the reality that it won't always be like this.
Right.
I think a lot of couples, they give up too early
Yeah.
because they think it's going to always be this way.
Hmm.
They don't look past today,
Right.
right now. And like you said, they don't see themselves as being married to the same person or to one person for a lengthy amount of time, let alone forever.
And can it be they don't see themselves, or they don't want to see themselves changing and developing into this person that God wants them to be in the marriage?
Right.
Like they don't want to change from that
Yeah.
20-year-old person or that 20-year-old mind frame.
Yeah.
They want to still
Right.
be the, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you don't want to calm down. You don't want to be able to relax in your
Yeah.
marriage. You just always want to be
Yeah.
going.
Some people work hard to attain a certain version of themselves, and they feel like, okay, you hear people talk about, I'm living my best life. Well, you can live your best life today and then live your best life tomorrow, but your best life tomorrow shouldn't look like
It shouldn't
your
look
best
the
life
same.
today.
Yeah.
Your best life tomorrow should be better than your best life
Right.
today. You can have a best life
Because we have brand new mercies
hello
every day.
all right now. Preach. Talk about it.
We don't want old. We don't want
Yeah.
past. We
Yeah.
want brand new. We don't want used.
Yeah.
Because yesterday was used.
Yes, it was. And it should have been used up. If you didn't use it up,
Yes.
that's on you.
We want brand new.
That's right. Brand new day, brand new mercy.
Yes.
Brand new grace.
Yes.
Brand new forgiveness. Lord help me.
Oh, yes.
But I think the biggest part about it is I've enjoyed both your growth and my growth as individuals.
Mhm.
And I've enjoyed watching the growth of our marriage.
Yes.
Like you said earlier, we don't fight anymore. We'll have a discussion.
We never fought.
No, we had some pretty heated conversations.
Oh, but when you say fight, that means like
Fist fight?
physical.
Oh yeah, no.
We've
We would
never had those.
No, Lord, no. It would have never been physical. First of all, because everybody in your family carry guns. But
That's right.
but no, I had way too much respect for you to ever let that happen. It would have never been a physical fight, but arguing or fussing or debating or passionately
discussing.
It was those things. But now we're at a place where we understand each other more.
Mhm.
And I believe that as a result of understanding each other more, I've grown, you've grown, we've had experiences together, we've had experiences individually. And as a result of all of that growth and maturation, we're not who we used to be. So we don't find value in things we used to find value in. Like I said, there once was a time when someone would find value in always being right. And as you grow and mature, you realize that you can be right without having to beat somebody down to
Mhm.
prove it. I know my truth, whether you acknowledge it or not. And that's enough for me.
Well, we know what changed.
What changed?
The God in us.
That's very
The God
true.
in us will change
That's very
your
true.
way of thinking and the way you respond and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because you pray for me and I pray for you. And
yeah.
the God inside of us helps us. That spirit connects and
Yeah.
it helps us to become better spouses to each other.
Countless
It's
times.
the God in me.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Stay with us.
It's the God in me.
We're wrapping up. It's almost time for
Hey.
Vetta's verse. And as we get ready for Vetta's verse, one of the things that
Erica
I've
Campbell.
always tried to
I do not own the rights to that song. You know you got to say that now.
Yeah, you got to put it out. Otherwise,
I do not own the rights to that song.
they're going to put us in Facebook jail. We don't want to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. We give credit to Mary.
Jeez.
They did that, not us. Praise the Lord. Lost my train of thought. Yeah. So you want to make sure that, oh, no, I did. I lost my train
I'm
of thought. I don't know
sorry.
what's going on. That's
I
okay.
was singing.
So we're going to go to Vetta's verse and then we're going to get out of your way. Can you believe it's already late and the hour's already almost gone?
Oh,
Outstanding. Oh, I remember what it was. I found myself over the years asking God to help me be the man I'm supposed to be for you, because you're the gift that he entrusted to me. And so as a result, I've got to be the right caretaker of the gift that you are.
Oh, that's nice.
And so that has helped me to grow and mature and evolve
Hmm.
a lot by asking God, okay, God, you made me, you made her. And if you brought us together the way that we say you have, then if there's a problem, help me not be part of the problem. And that was always a prayer that I prayed whenever we did have that rub. That wasn't a good rub. All right, let's go to Vetta's verse.
Amen. Vetta's verse for today: quantity time. The idea of substituting quality time for quantity time doesn't work in real life. The less quantity time you find to devote to your mate, the tougher it is to create quality time together. If people could just sit down and say, now we're going to have a quality experience, maybe it would work. But real life can't be manipulated that way. Television, news, history books, even the Bible show great moments of human achievement, but they can't detail the years of preparation and work that lead up to it. In the Bible, we read about important experiences and important events, but not always the day-to-day happenings of the before and after. If we're not careful, we can try to live our lives from one great experience to another, but it can't be done. In real life, it's the mundane day after day experiences that make the highlights stand out. It's the quantity time that makes possible the quality time. We've learned that you need to use personal time at home when you're close to your family. If you're going to keep priorities consistent, the use of your personal time has to be as purposeful as the use of your business time. If we seek God's help in establishing and maintaining our priorities, we'll find the amounts of time it takes to strengthen our marriages. What are the most common distractions that keep you from spending enough time together as a couple? What can you do this month to free up more time to do more things together? That is Vetta's verse out of our couples devotional Bible.
I like it. I like it. Spending more time together. And I think you should be creative with that. It's not always spending more time together where we're doing the same thing. But sometimes, like when you're doing your homework and I'm working on writing a book, writing a script or your sermon or Bible study, we're in the same space. For me, that's quality time, even if we're not talking, even if we're not, paying attention to each other, just the fact of being in the same
room.
space,
Yeah.
right? I consider that quality time. And the more we can do that, I think for me, I know that's me personally, it just does wonders for me. Gives me peace,
Right.
so that I can focus, relax, and enjoy life.
Love it.
Loving it and loving you.
Loving you back.
Loving you is easy because you're beautiful. Is that the right lyric?
Yes.
Okay, praise
So
the
who
Lord.
was that? Because we don't own the rights to that song either. Is that what is her name?
Minnie
Minnie
Riperton.
Rippleton. We do not own the rights to that song.
I can't hit the high notes.
I
So
can't
we're
hit
gonna
the
walk
high
away.
note because my voice.
But we're gonna walk away. Listen, it's been so great being back here on the couch.
Yes,
with you
it has
guys.
been. Thank you for joining us.
Make sure you're following us on all social
What's
media
next week?
platforms. Next week is next week.
And
And we'll talk about it next week. But make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so that you can stay up to date with everything that we are talking about, everything that we're doing, everything that's going on the couch, through the conversations, and in the realm of the Happy Spouse, Happy House. We do have some big things coming up in the future, and so we want you to stay tuned for that. Again, make sure that you are following us on the Happy Spouse, Happy House Facebook page,
Yes.
so that in August you can participate in our live Q&A. We're really excited about that. Really,
Please send us
really looking
topics
forward
too.
to it.
Also, family, send us topics that we could talk about.
Let us know what you want us to cover.
That
Let
you
us
want
know
us
what
to,
you want us
that you
to
want to hear.
bring to the couch,
Yes.
as they say. And we'll make sure that we do that. It's been a wonderful time. Listen, she's Veta.
And he's Mac.
And
And
this
this has
has
been
been
Couch
Couch Conversations.
Conversations. Good night.
God bless you. We'll see you next week.